find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Detroit Lions and the Denver Broncos. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And right away, they're going to stack him up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. Now, this defense for the Lions, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one covers 29 yards, first down. A give to Williams, running right. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. The Broncos had 5 and 9 on the year. Charles, they were losers last time. What do you think they need to do differently here?
Well, I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third.
But one of the things we talked about coming into this was we were never going to question the fight that he's going to have for all 4 quarters of a game. But ideally, you want him fighting for big plays and first downs early, not fighting just to get back to the line of scrimmage, as we saw right there.
Dancing to his left. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. It's the linebacker, Alex Anzalone, and the Lions are going to have it here just past the 25. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it, he saw the numbers we saw, he watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be, but early in this one, advantage defense.
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. Room here to run. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for because, you know, all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
Complete. This is Mitchell. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards. The first drive here and the first time that we've called a big tight end's name, but I can assure you this, Charles, it won't be the last.
No, it won't, because when he gets going, now it opens up opportunities on the perimeter because that'll draw the defense towards him in the middle of the
blitz coming, and down he goes. Chuck Clark. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Well, let's see here, Charles. He was sacked 6 times last week. Now a first-quarter sack. What's going on in his mind?
Well, he's thinking to himself, 5 offensive linemen. I got sacked 6 times last week. Let's start thinking about keeping extra people in. Tight end stays in. If I have a fullback or the running back, they stay in and help me block. Maybe not as many receivers in a pattern. Anything to try and slow down that pass rush.
He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. Well, it's not the touchdown that they wanted, CD, but still, they got to be pretty happy here. You steal the ball away from them on their opening possession, and you turn that into the early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you painted the picture perfectly there. All the things that have gone on, and the important thing, other than the lead, of course, is as you described, both sides of the ball now have some momentum.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They begin the drive with Williams, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Play action. It's Wilson. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete. Partner, we read a great article this week arguing for him to be Defensive Player of the Year. Normally, sacks are the big thing that people point to, but what he's done in the secondary has been something special.
It has been because it's been an all-around game for him, taking the ball away, rushing the quarterback and sacking him himself, doing a number of different things that change the way the game is played.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Got a man, that's Ayuk. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on 3rd down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go play action now, Wilson. Got an open man here, it's K.J. Hamler. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It's a gain of 35.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
Now a 1st down carry. And he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. And they put it on the ground here on the 2nd drive. And, of course, Charles, that follows drive number 1 where they had the INT.
Makes you wonder what's going on with this team because a lot of times we can attribute it to nerves, but maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe it's the preparation for the game. Maybe they just came into it a little lackadaisical because that's just not looking good at all. That's just not the football that we came here to see.
11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the 1st down.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now Bridgewater. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A good pickup there, a 22.
It's a nice zone breaker right there. Take the tight end, move him out to the slot, then have him run a corner route versus the zone coverage, which means he's going to be behind the shallow coverage and ahead of the deep coverage. Put the ball right on him.
To throw, Bridgewater. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And in for the Lions, touchdown. DeAndre Swift, his 17th touchdown now on the season, as his guys are able to extend their lead. Riley Patterson now for the extra point. He's got it, and now it's a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter.
Lions 10, Broncos nothing. Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And as we see so frequently here in Colorado, that one over the end line, so it'll come out to the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. Albert Okuwebunam, the intended target. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a 1st down.
Play action. Now Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Amani Oruwariye.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Following the interception, here's Bridgewater. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. DJ Chark, 28 yards. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And that makes our score 17-0.
Broncos nothing. Jack Fox to kick off the Lions.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They're looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Here's Wilson. Forced out to his left. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that is incomplete.
Barton, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They give it to Williams, running right. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they'll get him down at about the 37, well short of the first. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Keep in mind, he had the 3-interception game last week, so we requested to talk with him this week. He was all smiles. He's still all smile.
Yeah, we didn't jinx him at all, did we?
No.
Because ordinarily that happens. Things fall off, but not in this case. I think a lot of it goes back to his technique. His ability to see the quarterback throw the ball while understanding where the receiver is running his route allows him to make a lot of plays on the football, and he's taking it away at a really high rate.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3 at the 34-yard line.
On play action, it's Bridgewater. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. Well, when I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6 at the 38-yard line.
They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Here's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the linebacker, Alex Anzalone. And it's a tremendous return as they finally get him at about the 10-yard line. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. We have 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
Finding Hawkinson here on the out route. Touchdown! T.J. Hawkinson from 10 yards out. And the Lions continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half.
Broncos, nothing.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And he's going to have a Broncos first down as the tackle made here at the 36.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Again, it's Williams. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Fourth down, here's Wilson. Man open, he's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. He's got room at the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. They go for it on 4th down, and it pays off big time as they pick up 29.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They go play action with Wilson. That's caught by Ayuk on the slant. And he's brought down. The 20 at the 18-yard line.
It's the gain of 8. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Ninth play coming up here on this drive. This is 3rd and a yard. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Wilson. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. He's got his tight end. It's Albert Okuegbunam now. As the first half is winding down. And the Broncos are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And that's a critical touchdown. I don't want to be too hyperbolic or whatever, but they needed some points on the board before halftime.
They certainly did, and, you know, it's not going to erase everything that happened in the first half. Look, they got outplayed. There's no question about that. But now it gives them a chance to regroup, feel a little bit better about themselves. And how many games have we done where we've seen everything flip when another half begins? And by the way, did you say hyperbolic?
I did. Thank you. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Play action now. Bridgewater. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Well, they sent him on the blitz from that linebacker spot, and boy, he got there quickly.
He certainly did, and obviously he could have used a block from his running back, but I think you nailed it right there. The defender got into the backfield so fast, it's hard for anyone to react.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. He's got a man, complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. Patterson's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we are at halftime here on Christmas Eve. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Bridgewater to throw it. He's airing it out for Williams. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Patterson now for the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27.
Makes the score Lions 34, Broncos 7. Jack Fox.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Boston Scott on the return from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible, let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty win.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Javonte Williams, his 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead now down to 20. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here comes the Lions punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hey, 0.
Play action. It's Wilson. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
He took a shot there, but boy, was that ill-advised from my viewpoint. Coverage was awfully tight. How did he get away with that one not being picked off?
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing is Wilson. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 39 yards there, a big one.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just have receivers find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunky yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. On 2nd down, Williams. And they're knocking on the door now. As a good run there, going to take this to about the 10-yard line. 176 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
They run it again with Williams. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
It always helps when you get great run support from your safeties, and when you get one who can actually read the play and get upfield and shut it down before it gets going, that's exactly what you're looking for.
So backed up to the 6 now, 3rd and goal. Here's Wilson to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah,
what happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They go back to the ground, this time Swift. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. This defense could use a few more plays like that right now.
It certainly could, but think about it from an offense's perspective right now. They've got a lead, but they don't want to throttle down too much and stall themselves. Still want to move at a nice pace.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35.
At their own 33-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Boy, 192 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And my goodness, another interception. And the Lions are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ballgame, I would have. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. DeAndre Swift, his 2nd TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Lions are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the lead is now 24.
Broncos 17.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
It's caught on the right side. Williams. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Denver has a first down on the 15-yard play. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Now Wilson on first down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. So they obviously declined that, and it is a touchdown.
They still had the option, but let's face it.
There's no option.
There's no option when you score a touchdown. An easy call for them.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their 25-yard line. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick six. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Julian Okwara. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Off the draw, here's Williams. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. On 3rd down, here's Williams. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And this is caught, that they say, out of bounds. That would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. So that's the 2nd time this game they've given it up on 4th down. They're now 1 for 3 on 4th down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on 4th down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually, you have 4th down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go, and you think are going to be successful.
And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. James Mitchell, 26 yards. And the Lions add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th. Extra point try now for Patterson. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
Broncos 17. Jack Fox to kick off the Lions.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Okay.
They go play action now. Wilson. He'll go up top here for Hamler. And now here is another interception. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. Well, they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think we call that season's greetings right there. He came up, pow, knocked him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson. Albert Okwuegbunam, the intended target. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
14.
Here's Wilson. And he's got his man on the out route. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. To throw is Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Kamu Cruz-Hill getting in there and taking him down. We'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. To throw is Bridgewater. That's going to be caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, this is long since over, and some might see this as overkill. But remember, this is a team that puts on the hard hats, grabs the lunch pail, and tells everyone, we're going to give you a full 60 minutes. And that's exactly how they're playing this one out.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
17. Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened.
And that's caught inside the 35. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win in the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, on the one side, if you try to take away something positive from this game, they played to the final whistle, getting the touchdown there on the last play, but still, all for naught, really.
Yeah, I'd say give them points for positivity. I like that. That part is good. But I often wonder, when the game is settled and the clock is run out, do we really need to kick the extra point?
Oh, yeah. It's silly. It's silly.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I know that people have explained before, well, you got to play it all the way through. Come on, this thing was done.
So for the Lions, their hopes of finishing above 500 stay alive as they move to 7-8 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Denver, they hit double digits in losses as they fall